Hi, this is MaryEllen with Portraits of Me, and today I have a small book haul for you. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I am so excited to share with you some books that I purchased at Target and at Barnes & Noble before the quarantine. It's really weird because ever since I've been quarantined, I haven't been able to go to Barnes & Noble, so I haven't bought any books. Plus, I haven't bought any books online either. Can you believe that? I can't believe it because if you know me and my channel, this channel is mostly book hauls, but because I'm stuck at home, I haven't bought much. The only books that I have purchased during this quarantine time are my book boxes, which is Owl Crate and Fairy Loot. So those are the only ones that I've really purchased since I've been stuck at home for 6 weeks. And I don't think I have bought books because I am working at home. And so my desk where I'm working is like right here, and then right next to my desk is my TBR bookcase. So I have two bookcases full of books that I haven't read, which are double stacked. And I think that's why I haven't purchased any more books while being at home, because every time I go onto Book Outlet or go onto Thrift Books, I find books that I want, I put it into my cart, and then I look over and I see all the books that I still have to read. So I click out of Book Outlet and I click out of Thrift Books and say, you know what, you don't need them. You have too many books to read right now. So how have you been during the quarantine? Have you been buying books, or have you been like me and haven't bought any because you're at home staring at your big TBR bookcases all day? I would love to know. Leave a comment below and tell me how you're doing during this quarantine. Okay, I do have a small book haul. This was a purchase of books that I did at the end of February, so right before the quarantine happened for us here in California. So I'm going to go over the books that I got first at Barnes & Noble. In the Starbucks section of Barnes & Noble, they feature a book that you can get for $5 when you purchase a coffee. And this book that they had featured was one that sounded interesting, and so I decided to get it because it was $5. And that book is Codename Verity. And this one, I think it's a historical fiction book. I read it in February, so I have the receipt. So I got this one on February 22nd, and I had read the back. Oh, here it is. Yes, it's historical fiction. It's October 11th, 1943. A British spy plane crashes in France. Its pilot and passenger are best friends, but just one of the girls has a chance at survival. So that's this book right here, $5 at Barnes & Noble. And then afterwards, after we, looked around sections of the bookstore, we ended up in the clearance area, and I found this book right here. They had it on clearance, I think, 2 for $10. So the first one I got was Year One by Nora Roberts. I'm not a big Nora Roberts fan. I haven't really read any of her books, because I think does she write like mystery or romance or something? Normally it's like her books don't interest me, but I've heard good things about this book. I heard it's a little bit different than the normal genre that she writes. And so since I've heard good things about it, I took a chance and picked it up. Since it was only $5, 2 for $10. And I'm just noticing this is book 1. So I think it's going to be a series. So hopefully I like it and I can read the whole series. And look at these pretty end pages. They're so colorful. Love pretty end pages. So this one, it says, it began on New Year's Eve. The sickness came on suddenly and spread quickly. Uh-oh. Sounds like what we're going through right now. The fear spread even faster, and the toilet paper disappeared off all the shelves. Okay, it doesn't say that part, but that's what happened here in real life. So within weeks, everything people counted on began to fail them. The electric grid sputtered, law and government collapsed, and more than half of the world's population was decimated. Okay, so it sounds like a book that some people probably wouldn't want to read right now because we're going through this whole pandemic as it is. But I would read it. So yeah, sounds interesting. Looking forward to finding out more about it. I'm not going to really read any more about the synopsis because that's enough to get me thinking, and I want to be surprised and to see what happens where Nora Robert takes this story. So that's this book here. If you've read it, let me know in the comment box below. And then the other one I got to make the 2 for 10 is Glass Houses. So a few months back, I had read another book by Louise Penny that I really liked. And then I found out it was a series about Detective Gamache. What do they call them, detectives when they're not from America? Chief Superintendent. So he's Chief Superintendent Gamache. It sounds like I'm saying it wrong, but anyway, I read one of her books about him, which was an older book. Well, it was a newer book, but he was older in the series. So it's one of her newer books about him. He was actually retired in the book, and I really liked it. I liked the story was interesting. The writing was good. I liked the characters. So I decided to get a little bit more of Louise Penny's books with Inspector Gamache. Gamache? Yeah. It's a hard name to say, but I want to read more about them. So this is Glass Houses. I'm not sure what number book this is, but I don't think you have to read them in order. When I read the other book about this inspector, she did such a good job, this author, of kind of filling in the past. So I didn't feel like I had to have read all the books before to understand who he was and where he was in his life. So I'm hoping this is the same way, and that way I can just read it even though it's out of order, because I don't do well in order when it comes to like books series that have like 20 books about inspectors or private detectives and things like that. So anyway, looking forward to reading this one. So those are the books I got at Barnes & Noble. Now the second little haul I got was at Target. My husband and I went there, and let me check because I saved the receipts. Oops, not in that book, it's in this book. Nope. Where's the receipt? I always save the receipts. Where's the receipt? Did I only buy 2 books? Maybe I bought 3 and it's in another book. Oh well, anyway. We went to Target probably the end of February. It was around the same time as we went to Barnes & Noble. And I saw this one first. It is I Have No Secrets. And it was on sale for like $8. It was really cheap. So I decided to get it. And I think it's about a girl who has trouble communicating, and so therefore she witnesses a crime, but she can't communicate that she saw this crime, but now her life's in danger because I think she can finally start like communicating. I think, let me just read it because you probably won't be as confused if I just read it. Gemma knows who the murderer is. She knows because he told her. He thought his secret was safe because Gemma can't speak or move, but Gemma observes all kinds of things about everyone around her. His secret is just one of them. And then a new technology comes along, which means she may be able to communicate and reveal all she knows. Oh, there you go. So that's what this book's about. It sounds very good. So I picked it up because it was like $8 or something. And then I got a book that I said I would probably never read, that I probably said I would never buy. I bought it because it was cheap, and it's a beloved series from everybody on BookTube. So I decided, it's cheap, I'll take a chance. I can start the series, and then if I don't like it, I didn't spend too much on it. And that is, you want to guess before I show you? The author's initials are CC. Okay, you probably know who it is by CC. So this is Cassandra Clare, Clockwork Angel. So I got this one at Target. It was only $5.99 plus 20% off. So I thought, wow, that's a really good price. And the reason why it was so low, it's because it's getting ready for Chain of Gold, which just came out in March. So this right here is the first book in the Infernal Devices. And from my understanding, I don't think you have to read the series in order. So I don't think you have to read the first City of Bones series before you get to the Infernal Devices series. I'm hoping, because I just want to get into this one. It sounds good because it has a historical setting, which is in London, I believe. Victorian England. So the story has vampires, or maybe not vampires, maybe it's demons. Some supernatural creature. And I like those kind of stories, so I decided to take a chance. And the only reason I said I would never read a Cassandra Clare book, none of her City of Bones or Infernal Devices, was because their series are so long. Look how many books are in there. And so I didn't want to start a series that it's going to take me forever to read. Have to buy tons of books. But it got me, you guys. It got me because the price was small enough where I thought, I'll take a chance. And if I like it, then yes, I'll commit to it. But small price to pay, right? Under $5 to start the series. So that's the last book I got to show you for this mini haul from Target and Barnes & Noble. What did you guys think? Have you read any of these books that I just showed you? If you did, please leave a comment below. I would love to start a conversation with you and talk about them, because that's what I'm here for. Let's talk about books. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always, you guys, may you have a great morning, day, evening, or night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Do it this way.